Hello there everybody, I'm Sabanai2AK Nightmare, and welcome back to whatever hell this friggin' chaos head is. So last episode we got to see let's be perfectly frank, a very depressing ending, where it legitimately felt like nobody won. I will give credit though. Like whenever our boy Takumi is in like that fake world where everything's all hunky-dory and all that good stuff, that vision. Whenever it's revealed to just be a delusion, whenever it looks like he's just looking at a screen, it's like he's actually playing the visual novel Chaos Head, a game within a game within a game. Shit! I need to stop cursing so much. It was actually really well done. Like, it was actually it was actually really good. Anyway, now it's time for us to go on to a new route. And it looks like we're finally going to begin the Nanami route. Hopefully this time everything goes the way it's supposed to. From the looks of it, I have to follow a simple prompt in Chapter 1, and looks like I just have to follow one positive for, is there nothing but cola? And then, oh, that must be the prompt for, is that for the Chapter 6 prompt? I think that's the Chapter 6 prompt. Anyway, I'll know that I'm on the right route as soon as we get an intermission. Anyway, let's try out the shortcut system while we're at it. Why did I even bother doing that? I don't fucking know. I don't know what the competition swimsuits are supposed to look like. I don't know I'm a fucking dumbass American. I wouldn't know what the difference is between a regular school swimsuit and a competition swimsuit is. I don't watch shit like that. All right, I can't remember if this is the one again. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. There we go. I don't have to worry about that again. Alright, here we go. This is the one that has to be a positive delusion. Which is the one where Takumi obviously screams, "What the fuck?" Oh my god. You're not getting a glitch on this. I turned the visual off here. So I am in the middle of this very, very, very cursed positive delusion. I am not putting that visual on my screen. I have family that tends to watch my shit. But I will read this and then probably put the visual back on after I, do this. I'm not in, why is the character saying, oh my god, hold on, I think I know what to do with this. I know what to do with this. Okay. You can read that. What's the answers I have to follow here? Okay. No. Oh my god! This is disgusting! Oh my god. Please do not make this really, oh my god, don't follow the route of trail, oh god, don't, I'm going to die, fucking end it, brother, you jerk, discovered Nanami's story, I want to yell. I want to yell because I want to fucking yell. Thank God it's over! Oh my god, I hated every minute of that. I fucking hated every goddamn second of that. God. Can we please have a visual novel where there... Can we have a fucking story where there's not this creepy incestual bullshit? I dealt enough with that in Trails in the Sky. I don't need another one of these bullshit. Can I just skip Nanami's route and go to Yua's route at this point? There's probably some people that are like, why are you getting so mad about that? I'm like, that's just weird. It's Japan being Japan. Stop being weird. Can I just skip to the Yua route? According to this, the Yua route is actually next. I would actually feel better with the Yua route. Good God. That dialogue back there was not even worth reading. I just gotta remember, this is early Takumi. He'll get better. I hope. Maybe he'll actually be good protective brother in this route and it won't go into that creepy as fuck territory. Hopefully. That's really all I could ask for. I sincerely hope that it does not reach that creepy, very creepy territory. Because right now, it looks like the only thing that's going to pop up now is I have to hopefully get to... Okay, it looks like the game will branch into the route in Chapter 6. So there's going to be a lot more, skipping. Oh! Ooh! Ooh, okay, something new happened. Okay. Nishijo Nanami had a spring in her step. Fiddling with her cell phone, she hummed to herself as she walked. Having finally managed to drag her shut-in older brother out of the house and into the world, she had taken him to buy a cell phone. Upon selecting one and attaching a Jirofroggy strap to it, she completed her mission. And now, she was in a very good mood. It's been so long since I went somewhere with my big bro. It felt so refreshing to her. She was not entirely sure how many times they'd gone out together in the past, and when she tried to recall, she found her memories far too hazy. As they were siblings, one would think they would spend time together fairly often, but that was not the case for them. Well, nothing wrong with a little date from my brother every now and then, right? It's a good chance to work on that gloomy attitude of his and hopefully get him to be a bit nicer to us in the process. She continued to sort out her thoughts, and while waiting for the light to change at the scramble crossing, she took the opportunity to type out an email to her brother. Then, the walk signal flickered on, and the swarm of pedestrians began moving once more. Nanami kept her eyes glued to the screen, letting the flow of the crowd carry her along. Dangerous. As one would expect, the flood of people in front of Shibuya Station made writing an email while walking nearly impossible. Distracted, Nanami slammed into the shoulder of a passing middle-aged businessman, nearly knocking him over. Watch, it's gonna be like Neurose or something. She bowed her head at the man, received a sharp glare in return, then slipped the phone back in her bag. She figured she should probably stop typing for now. She would have plenty of time on the train to do so. Not a moment later, she noticed a familiar face among the human stampede passing through the ticket gate. Holy shit, Rimi with a different outfit, what? Sakihata Rimi was startled to see the girl who had called her name. She averted her eyes, her demeanor nowhere as near as friendly as Nanami's. Paying no mind to this, Nanami closed the distance between them. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Rimi in that outfit. Huh. She seemed strangely distant. Trying to figure out why that may be, Nanami guessed that Rimi might have been waiting on a date. She could say for sure it was not her with her brother, though, given how he had left for his home just moments before. Given that her brother would rather wallow in his own filth than step out into society, it was easy to imagine he and Rimi did not talk very often. As she thought to herself, Nanami tilted her head. She felt a strange unease regarding the gaps in her memories. Oh. Rimi didn't say a word. She simply gazed up awkwardly at the Jumbotron displaying Omura Carrera's newest music video. Nanami continued to dig through her memories, to find anything on Rimi, to find anything on her brother's relationship with Rimi. She should have known something. It seemed impossible for her not to. And yet, her search returned fruitless. when she saw Rimi's face, her name came to mind, and she even called it out. However, no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't find a single memory of the girl.
そもそもナナってリミさんといつ知り合ったんだっけ？なんで名前知ってるんだろう?
She's starting to question her memories. Despite her best efforts, it was as if the memory had completely slipped from her grasp. It was not even just on the tip of her tongue, no. Everything was a total blank. She was awash with an awful sensation, and for some reason unfamiliar to her, her chest began to tighten. That's probably like the leftover memories of what her real brother is going through.
やだな、ナナちゃん、忘れるなんて。
Like some little lingering vestige before her memory was kind of messed with. As if a switch had been flipped somewhere, the air of apprehensiveness completely vanished as Rimi turned to Nanami, smiling warmly.
私とナナちゃんが知り合ったのはタクを通してでしょ？ほら学校でタクと一緒にいた私を見てナナちゃんが目を丸くしてさ、うわー、お兄に彼女ができた、明日地球が滅びちゃうって。え？あはは、言ったっけそんなこと。
Well.
うん、言った。あんまりびっくりしてたから、私すごくよく覚えてる。
Now that she mentions it, Nanami thought, maybe I really did say that. Still, a part of her insisted that it wasn't true. Not entirely convinced, but not really caring too much at the same time, she decided to forget about it for now.
それで、お兄とは最近会ってます？会ってるよ。だって、クラスメートだし。
Like Rimi's doing her best to kind of keep under cover.
でも、あんまり学校行ってないんですよね。お兄のお尻、蹴っ飛ばしてあげてください。いっつも引きこもってるんだもん。ナナの言うことはちっとも聞いてくれないし。了解。それじゃあ、ナナ帰りますね。遅くなるとお母さんに怒られちゃう。うん、またね。
Nanami waved goodbye to Rimi as she made her way toward the station. She still could not pin down a single memory of that girl, and she also found it strange that, despite the time of day, the girl had been wearing something casual instead of her uniform. Even so, there was a much more pressing matter on her mind. Are Rimi and Takumi actually in a relationship? Yeah, no freaking way. Nanami cracked a wry smile at the very idea. Like she once said herself, that would be the end of the world. Oh my god, is that the reason the world keeps ending? The mere idea that those two will get together causes the end of the world. What a delightful scenario. Holy shit, hold on. Where's the hand? It's just a lot of blood. What? There's no decapitated hand this time. Just her phone. Lying in the foil was a phone identical to mine. A phone with blood splattered all over it. I understood all too clearly what it meant. Chapter 7, Daydream. Oh! Yes! New stuff! I could no longer concentrate. Unable to take it anymore, I whipped open the door to my base and leapt outside. My whole body was exuding in an insane amount of moisture, covering me in an unpleasant, greasy sweat. Hold on. Hold on. We're saving. We're officially in the Nanami round. Finally! All right! The nightly wind felt colder than usual. The moment my feet hit the chilly concrete, I immediately realized I wasn't wearing any shoes. I had to go. I had to do what Shogun had said. I had to go to O-Front. Obviously, I was scared, and obviously I didn't want to go. All I wanted was to curl up in my room and hug my knees in fear, but I thought that if I didn't, something horrible would happen to Nanami. The tears refused to stop. Even if I wiped my eyes, my sight was still constantly blurred.
Nanami.
My whimpers were even more pathetic than I'd expected them to be, to the point where I felt like throwing up. I shook my head back and forth, desperately trying to shove down the weakness welling up within me. Even the slightest amount of hesitation here would mean I'd never leave for O-Front. So I had no choice but to keep up my momentum. I'm too worried about Nanami, so I can't just stand around. And with that thought, I bolted away from my room. Don't lose this momentum. Make it to O-Front, and things might just work out. Hurry up and put your shoes on. After that, grab your Seroton figure as a good luck charm, and then run. Just run. Run as hard as you possibly can. Right now, you're Nanami's only hope. I clenched my teeth, and then, right as I was moving back to my base to grab my shoes, I thought I heard something. I sprang up in surprise, and then when I turned around toward where the sound had come from, I saw a person. What's going on? Nami? I rubbed my eyes and took another look at her face. It was Nanami. I would know her face anywhere. I'm censoring that.
Nanami!
I rushed to her side. For some reason, she was completely naked. Her head hung toward the ground lifelessly, and I couldn't make out the expression on her face. Every few seconds, her slender body trembled.
Nanami!
Even though I'd rushed over to her, I still had absolutely no clue what had happened to her, nor what to do in response. All I could do was call her name over and over. Grab a blanket! What I really wanted to do was hug her, but the thought that she might even think I was a pervert made me hesitate. Keeping that censored, but since this is being censored, I'd like to point out that her eyes are dull and appear lifeless, with a little bit of a purple twinge to them. Sluggishly, Nanami's head lifted up toward me. Her face was pale and her lips were somehow worse. It felt like she was on the verge of death. Her eyes were vacant and hollow, and yet when she looked toward me, I could see large tears spilling from the corners of them. In response to my question, she shook her head lightly from side to side. I can't English. I don't know! Why are you naked? In any case, I quickly looked her over to see if she was injured. Of course, I didn't want to seem like I was deliberately looking at anything I shouldn't. I mean, I wasn't like I was talking to my blood-related sister. Shut up! Seeing her naked didn't do anything for me in the sight. Shut up. At least she didn't seem injured. Wait, then whose blood was that on that cell phone? You know what? I just worry about that later. Get her some clothes! I held out my hand to her. She was pretty slow to react. Her trembling showed no signs of stopping. She looked like a newborn fawn. Nanami grasped my hand. She was cold. So cold, in fact, that I unintentionally let out a yelp. Bracing myself for her getting mad at me, I touched her bare shoulders. She was cold to the touch. Should I get a hot shower ready for her? Or should I make her something hot to drink first? Drink first to get her insides a little bit warmer, and then heat up a warm bath. Not too hot, because if somebody is like freezing, you don't want to suddenly shift them into something exceptionally hot or the opposite temperature. Otherwise, I think it's supposed to be hypothermia that they'll go into shock or something like that. You want to gradually regulate and fix their body temperature slowly, which is usually where, like, usually warm drinks, or in the case of turning somebody from cold to warm, you got to get them wrapped up in some thick clothing, blankets, and stuff like that, so that way their body can regulate their temperature. You don't want to suddenly throw somebody into a freaking hot bath if they're, like, crazy, like, near frozen. That'll probably just do more damage. At least I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Regardless of which, I couldn't just leave her naked here. This wasn't a situation in which I could care about what she would think. Are you okay? What happened? I tried to pick the cleanest thing I could find to put on Nanami, but my lifestyle didn't exactly make that very easy. I didn't have many clothes for wearing in public at all, really. So reluctantly, I'd given her my brand new blood-tuned sweatshirt that I'd been hanging on to for safekeeping. Then I'd made her some instant coffee. Generally, coffee wasn't my thing, but I could remember Nanami bringing some over a long while back, saying Mom and Dad had made her. It wasn't expired quite yet, so it should have been fine. Nanami was sitting quietly on the sofa. She still looked pale, but her shivering had stopped. Seemed getting fresh clothes helped her body stabilize. Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure that the person's body is able to stabilize and fix their actual inner temperature. And you got to do it in a very slow process. Also, very good on you, taking my advice, get her some clothes. Sweater's a good choice. If you got a blanket, give her a blanket. And giving her a warm drink. Excellent. Okay, good job, Takumi. Good job. I silently handed over the cup of coffee, and she meekly accepted it.
ありがとう。
She wrapped the cup with both hands and stared fixedly at the surface of the dark liquid.
ブラックだね。
砂糖とかミルクとか、そんな気の利いたものはここにはないんだ。
Sorry. Likely understanding the situation, she pursed her lips and blew on the coffee. And then she slowly raised the cup to her mouth. Yeah, it's hot. If it's black coffee, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to cool down. Was she not good with hot things? I couldn't remember if she'd always been like that, though it didn't help that I never paid much attention to details like that to begin with. Nanami started chugging the coffee like her life depended on it. Her cheeks were turning rosier, so her body was probably heating up as it moved through her. You gotta be careful about that, otherwise you're gonna scald your insides.
ねえ、このコーヒー熱いよ。
Then stop drinking it and let it cool down!
じゃあ飲むな。
飲むけど。
Okay, you're being a little brat. You can either whine or be honest, but you can't do both. Then again, her complaining was probably a sign that she was feeling better.
なあ、一体何があったの?
Finally, I'd managed to suck it up and ask her what was on my mind. When I'd seen the cell phone covered in blood, I thought for sure that Shogun had kidnapped her. But in the end, it turned out to be nothing. And now I had no reason to go to O-Front. I could just stay here with Nanami. I still didn't understand what had happened, though. Nanami had very clearly been naked outside. Her abnormally low body temperature was also puzzling. In response to my question, Nanami stared blankly into her cup.
わかんない。
She doesn't know.
自分でもなんでお兄の部屋の前にいたのかよく思い出せないの。
I wouldn't say Rimi had anything to do with this, but I wonder. We know that Nanami is potentially, she's also a gigalomaniac. She's able to have her own D-sword. So, Well, I was going to make the suggestion that maybe her her code was, or her whatever her was taken away from her, but then why would she suddenly be here? She has no memory of how she ended up here. I don't think she's a delusional being. So this is definitely probably actually the real Nanami. So what happened? Don't tell me. Did she have amnesia?
シワだらけの子供に会わなかった。車椅子に乗ってる怪しいやつなんだけど。
Okay, so she wasn't near Takumi. Okay.
携帯なくしたよな。
なくしたのかな。そもそもナナの服どこに置いてきちゃったんだろう。
Okay, so she was literally robbed of everything that she had on her. Hmm.
誰かにひどいことされなかったか。
Immediately like, hey, did something bad happen to you?
ひどいことって。
Well, that's in more eroji-like terms. You weren't R-worded or anything. You weren't raped or anything. But I could never say that out loud. Yeah, how the hell do you approach that subject? I mean, I hadn't seen any injuries on her, so that didn't seem likely anyway. Oh? As if she just remembered something, her head shot up.
バングル。
Oh, she lost her bangle.
お兄にもらったバングルなくしちゃった。
So they took the bangle too.
そりゃ服も持ち物もないんだからバングルもないだろ常識的に考えて。
Takumi. Taku, stop it.
そうなんだけど。
What?
なんでだろう。バングルだけはなくしちゃったことを思い出して。
Oh! Ooh, that is important. Why is it that you only remember losing the bangle? Huh.
どこでなくしたの？
それはわかんないけど。
You don't know where you lost it, but you know you have a memory of losing it. Nanami was really disheartened. She must have been thinking that it was gone for good and that we'd never find it now. Hearing her story, well, it still didn't tell me a thing about what had happened. Should I take her to the hospital? Before that, maybe I should contact our parents. That way they can come and pick her up.
ねえ、お兄。今日ここに泊まっちゃダメ？
I was gonna say we should probably let her stay over just for safety. We have a lock on there. That way, if anybody that tries to come near her, she'll be safe. Well, safe being an interesting choice of word, but...
なんでだよ。
なんだかナナ混乱しててわけわかんなくてあんまり動きたくないよ。
She's scared and confused. Well, her usual volume was at an all-time low, so I didn't see an issue with her staying the night.
親には連絡しとけよ。
Right. I approached the cardboard box that I'd left in the corner. I then took out the blood-smeared cell phone. After carefully wiping down the phone with a wet wipe, I handed it to Nanami.
ナナの携帯だ。
Yeah.
これ送ってきたのってナナミなの？
Nanami tilted her head. It had been stupid of me to ask.
親に連絡したらシャワー浴びてこいよ。体温めた方がいいと思うし。
Again, we're taking this one step at a time. We're at the point where she's somewhat regulated. She's able to have a conversation. Now would be the good time to continue helping her body regulate. Give her a shower. She should be relatively fine. I'm going at this where the temperature, if I had to guess, we recently had some really cold temperatures over where I'm at right now. Like, I'm talking the cold temperatures where as soon as the wind picks up, it feels like it's biting your skin. I'm taking my idea as that's probably how cold it must have been at this moment. My shower was outside. It was a prefab shower of sorts, and it was situated right next to my container. I've been forced to set up the drainage and whatnot myself, but it was more than usable. It was typically what I used after all, and since I didn't have a bathtub, I just used the nearby public bath whenever I was in the mood for something longer.
浴びてくる。
Yeah, it'd be better for your health.
ねえ、一緒に。
Huh? Had my sister gone totally fucking bonkers? When she saw how taken aback I was, Nanami gave a strained laugh.
違うよ。一緒に入るわけないじゃん。
Oh, I think I know what she meant. She was actually like, she needs somebody to like make sure that she's safe.
でも一人で外に出るのなんだか怖くて。
Exactly. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Randomly walking up outside completely naked with no idea how you got there, or waking up, sorry. What happened to you? It must be pretty freaky.
だからナナがシャワー浴びている間、声が聞こえるところにいてほしいなって。
Within shouting distance in case she like needs help.
ダメかな。
She pleaded at me with puppy dog eyes, but all it did was make me groan internally. Oh, this was bad. She was starting to turn ever so slightly moe.
わかったよ。
Please don't let there be a gratuitous CG. Since Nami was feeling so weak, just for today, I'd do the brotherly thing. Be a protective brother. What was that? In my sleep, I faintly heard a noise. What exactly was it? And where had I heard it before? Oh, I know, it was a cell phone vibrating. Someone trying to call me? Wait, someone was calling my phone? Was something that unusual actually happening? Or was it the usual you may pass prank call I've been getting lately? So there's no way I'm answering it. I'd passed out for over an hour last time because of how eerie it had been. So I simply ignored the call and tried to fall back asleep. But now that I was aware of the noise, it was even harder than ever to drive it out of my mind. Whoever the caller was, they were persistent. Their calls kept coming one after the other. I opened my eyes only to realize I was lying on the floor. Nanami ought to have been asleep on the couch, and yet she wasn't there. Where'd she gone? The bathroom? Or had she canceled her plans to stay overnight and just headed back home? The cell phone continued vibrating all throughout my weak, groggy attempt at getting up. It had gone on for over 3 minutes now. My answering machine should have kicked in, but I guess I'd forgotten to set it up. Tired of the caller's sheer persistence, I grabbed the cell phone off my PC desk. The incoming call was from a restricted number. Okay, then I had no idea who it was. I didn't really want to answer it, but...
もしもし。
Is that Hazuki?
誰？
Oh, god damn it. It was Nanami. I breathed a sigh of relief. Where the hell was she even calling from? It had only been a few hours. What happened to her being exhausted and not wanting to leave?
ナナミか。どこにいるんだ？
右手を返して。
Huh?
ナナの右手。
What the fuck? It disconnected. Nothing she'd said made any sense to me. Oh, shut the fuck up! What the hell kind of prank was this? Fuck off, Nanami! God damn it, I felt stupid for even worrying. Since she seemed to be doing just fine now, I guess I didn't need to look for her after all. I was exhausted beyond belief, so I definitely didn't have the energy to deal with pranks. Lying back down, I tossed the phone away and closed my eyes. We didn't go to O-Front. Waking up to the sound of Saratan's voice, I noticed Nanami was still absent. Had she headed home without telling me? Or had she gone to school instead? What was the date today, even? Did my attendance chart say this was a school day? My mind was caught in a haze. Man, I was still half asleep. What time was it right now? Without getting up from the floor, I continued being hazily lost in thought when... Oh, thank God she's okay. After opening the door, Nanami's face peered inside.
帰ったんじゃないのか。
帰ってないよ。泊まるって言ったじゃん。
Where were you?
ということは、やっぱり昨日の深夜のあれはいたずらだったんだな。もう二度とやるな。
いたずら？何のこと？
Nanami tilted her head, playing all innocent. Was she really gonna drag this out by pretending she hadn't done anything? Don't think you can trick me so easily. I'm not that stupid. I may be an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. Wait a minute. All things considered, after taking the night to decompress and giving it a look with fresh eyes, I couldn't help but notice how dangerous Nanami's outfit was. Under that sweatshirt was, of course, nothing. Yep, nothing at all. Completely commando. Then call Rimi! Every time Nanami moved her arms, the hem would ever so slightly lift, and each time it did, I swear I came this close to catching a glimpse. I don't care! Please, beat him within an inch of his life. Nanami stretched the hem down, concealing her upper inner thighs.
そんな伸ばすな。そのトレーナー貴重なんだぞ。
ナナよりトレーナーが心配なんだ。お兄のバカ。言っとくけど、下着を履いてるもんね。
Oh, thank God. Oh, you do? That's too bad. Wait, I didn't mean that. Chill out, me. Don't get all horny over your sister. Wait, how the hell she even got... This is by far the raunchiest fucking main character I think I've ever had to read in my entire YouTube career. Hands down. Well, at least she was back to her usual Nanami antics. That was something, I guess. She'd been feeble as all hell yesterday, but maybe she'd gotten over it after a good night's sleep. There was a remarkably pleasant smell in the air. It smelled like someone was cooking bacon.
ねえねえ、お兄も朝ごはん食べる？
朝ごはん。
Damn.
今作ってるんだけど。
My base's kitchen, well, its sink, was placed right next to the shower with no real care. For the record, I didn't get any gas up here. My solution to that was just to use a portable stove I'd gotten cheap from an online auction. But I never cooked my own meals, so it was like at least stashed away in a corner or something. I guess Nanami must have gone through the trouble of digging it out of hiding. What the fuck?
Menu.
サンドイッチとベーコンエッグ。
Oh my god, you can't go wrong with bacon and eggs, my god.
ここのキッチンじゃあんまり凝ったもの作れないしね。それにお兄は貧乏舌だから、むしろシンプルなものの方がいいかなって。
My typical breakfast is just a combo of cola and a bean bun or something. It's been a real long time since I'd actually had anything decent. And besides, I couldn't help but revel in the bliss that my sister had cooked it herself, just for me. In my mind, this definitely made up for yesterday's prank.
よし、さっさと用意しろ。
うわー、偉そう。まったく少しは感謝してよね。
That is correct.
止めてやったんだから、むしろそっちが感謝しろよ。
Taku!
それもそうかも。じゃあ一応感謝感謝。
I assumed she was going to bow her head to me, but she didn't end up doing that. Instead, Nanami headed straight back outside with a smile on her face.
お兄、外で食べようよ。折りたたみ式のテーブルあったでしょ。
I certainly hope the next visual novel that I read doesn't have a main character who's degenerate like Taku. I really, really hope that we're not dealing with more degenerates.
それ持ってきて。
Because I cannot fucking handle them. Damn it. The nerve of her putting a guy that just woken up to work. Well, if I did this, but the food sucked, she was gonna have hell to pay. It's eggs and bacon! I set up a small folding table and some chairs, the kind you'd use for camping and whatnot, then waited about 5 minutes. When Nanami finally finished making the food, she carried it over to the table and set it down. At the very least, it looked pretty appealing. Nanami had been our mom's helper in the kitchen for as long as I could remember. Suffice it to say, her cooking skills were pretty passable. Well, she was definitely lucky because if she sucked at cooking, she wouldn't be able to pull the sheepish smile and the oopsie-daisy tee-hee. Only 2D girls had that right. I'd immediately go soft if my 3D sister did that IRL. Hell, I'd probably never talk to her again. You go soft like emotionally? This feels like it's two different statements here. I'd immediately go soft if my 3D sister did that IRL. Like, and then follow it up with, hell, I'd never talk to her again? Hold on a minute. Okay, clearly I completely misread that first sentence. I am not even going to go over that anymore. Nope, 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 nope.
なんで隣に座るんだよ。
People are fucking laughing. God damn it. She was really close. Our shoulders were almost touching. There's no way I could eat when she was this close. It'd be too embarrassing, so I put a bit of space between us.
だってここに椅子が置いてあったんだもん。お兄が置いたんでしょ。
Well, no, yeah, I did, but the chair's just for camping. It's not even 30 centimeters tall, and it's light enough that even a girl could carry it with one hand. I'm sorry, even that sentence caught me up. What? So it's not like it's a big deal to move it a little. Quit your bitching.
もういいよ。ほら、お兄、食べなよ。いただきます。
Nanami clapped her hands together, then hurriedly readied her chopsticks. Her appetite seemed to be a lot stronger than before. Just in general, really, she seemed to be doing way better now. The fact that she'd been so weak at all yesterday almost didn't seem real. Though, oddly enough, the more I thought about it, the more it felt like it didn't just seem not real, but that it actually hadn't been real. She'd been lying, and naturally, there was only a single reason for her to be lying.
大好きなお兄と一緒にいたくて嘘ついちゃったの。
That is all your delusions. Something along those lines? Look to what kind of eroge did I think this was? Of course, I'd answer like so. But I refuse.
お兄、なんかニヤニヤしてる。
He's having a delusion. Just throw some cold water on his face. Or the bacon grease.
また変な妄想でもしてた？
Apparently. She hit the nail on the head and my head instantly shot toward the table. Picking up a sandwich, I stuffed my mouth full.
うまい。
The ham sandwich had the perfect amount of mustard mayonnaise sauce. Ew! It was incredibly basic, just lunch meat, sauce, and bread, but considering I didn't stockpile any form of seasoning around here, it was pretty damn good.
でしょでしょ。 わざわざ朝早くに24時間やってるスーパーに行っていろいろ買ってきたんだよ。
Wait. You went to a 24-hour supermarket? Huh?
え、買ってきたって、その格好でどんだけ知女なんだよ。
知女じゃないもん。このままで外歩けるわけないじゃん。
Wait, then how did you go out?
ちゃんとお兄のズボン借りてそれ履いて行ってきたよ。
Oh, okay.
下着だって買ってきたし。
Oh, so she bought herself some undergarment. Okay. Mean that until then, she hadn't been wearing any. Dude, stop. Stop it, Taku! I'm gonna fucking put a shock collar on you. Goddamn, dude.
本当はこのトレーナーも着替えたかったんだけどさ、アニメの絵が描いてあって結構恥ずかしいし。でもお兄が着せてくれたんだから勝手に着替えちゃうのも悪いかななんて。
You... Yeah, you know what? Mainstream women not understanding Seirotan's appeal is exactly what made them so awful. That said, if I had to walk through Shibuya or even Akiba like that, I probably wouldn't have the guts.
それでお金は
Did you use my money?
ちょうどね、借りたズボンに財布が入ってたから大丈夫だったよ。
Oh my god! I gawked. She really just said that while her small ass mouth munches on bacon. It all worked out? Like hell it all worked out!
その財布僕のだろ。僕の金使ったのかよ。
だってナナ、昨日お財布もなくしちゃったもん。
She raises a valuable point. How the hell was she gonna be able to buy anything?
だからって勝手に使うなよ。
I voiced my complaints to Nanami, but she just wasn't listening. Dejected, I squished the half-cooked yolk in my bacon and eggs.
財布もなくしちゃったし、学校のカバンもどっか行ったし。
They just kind of lost everything, and we still have no idea what happened to you!
それにバングルがなくなっちゃったのが一番ショック。
She really loves that bangle. Yeah, I think I'm the one in pain here. Just because I got loads of money sitting around from RMT doesn't mean I'm a fan of getting stolen from. Wait, what was it? What does RMT stand for again?
あんな安物のバングルなんかなくしたってどうってことないだろ。常識的に考えて。
Besides, I'd given it to her free of charge, so it wasn't like she'd suffered any damages, so why the hell was she so fixated on this stupid thing? Naomi squirmed in her seat.
だって初めてお兄からもらったプレゼントだったんだもん。すごく嬉しかったのに。
And then the music dies down. You're not fooling anyone. Saying cute shit isn't gonna make me forget about how you took my money without asking.
ナナね、絶対見つけ出すから。なくしたままにしておくなんてできないよ。
For some reason, she tightly clenched her fists as she said that. As I inadvertently watched her do so, my eyes drifted toward the cuff of her right hand and landed on a white bandage. A bandage that gave me an awful, awful feeling.
その包帯。
あ、これ？
When I pointed it out, Nanami took the time to roll up her sleeve and show it off. There was definitely a bandage on her right wrist. Even though yesterday, back when she'd been cowering next to my basically naked, there'd been no such thing. Yeah, that's...
右手を返して。
Ah, fuck.
ナナの右手。
Oh, I see. This is a continuation of yesterday's prank, wasn't it? Pretty damn elaborate plan. What the hell was she trying to accomplish, though?
そんな包帯外せよ。いたずらにしたって悪趣味だよ。
いたずらなんかじゃないよ。朝起きてから 右手がちょっとズキズキするの。原因はわかんないけど、とりあえず包帯買って巻いたんだ。
ズキズキ痛むのに包帯だけ巻いたって意味ないだろ。
Usually pressure kind of helps alleviate it.
包帯だけのわけないじゃん。ちゃんと湿布も貼ったよ。
Oh yeah, a wet compress.
だったら湿布だけでいいじゃないか。わざわざ包帯を巻く意味がわからない。
そうだけど、ほら、病は気からって言うし。
Healthy mind, healthy body? What are you even trying to say? And I'm pretty sure you reversed those.
いいから取れよ。
Despite the fact that I was acting rude on the outside, and also gulping down my sandwich on the inside, my heart was pounding out of my chest. I was probably just overthinking things, but if the phone call from Nanami yesterday hadn't been a prank, then Nanami being sick really had been just an act, and in reality, something really bad was going on with her. Something she was trying to hide from me.
もう、ほんと、わがままなお兄だな。
Despite looking reluctant, Nanami undid the bandage. I was confused by her surprising obedience. I guess I really had just been overthinking things. Looking away from her arm for a second, I brought some bacon and eggs to my mouth. It's gonna be a bloody stump, isn't it?
はい、取ったよ。
I gulped once, and then slowly, my sister's arm took over my side. Underneath the bandage, it was as normal as could be. Not a scratch on her. Not even any internal bleeding. She'd even bothered to take the wet compress off, even though I hadn't asked her to. I grabbed Nanami's hand and brought my face in for a closer inspection.
お兄？
傷なんてない。何にもない。
あるなんて一言も言ってないよ。ズキズキするんだって説明したじゃん。
Oh, I guess you did. I knew I'd just been overthinking things. I guess that email yesterday from Shogun had still been on my mind, leading me to freak out at anything even remotely suspicious. Wait, what the fuck?
くそー、お前の腕湿布さ。
I couldn't help but grimace as I let go of Nanami's arm.
そんなの当たり前じゃん。女の子に臭いって言うなんて最低。バカ鬼。
Let's say, what the hell kind of response is that?
うるさい。さっさと飯食って学校行け。
I had no interest in wasting any more valuable time with Nanami's annoying nitpicking bullshit.
あ、そっか。学校か。でも制服ないのにどうやって行こう。
Oh my god, I was about to say, because whenever he was like, there's a stench, I was expecting it to fully go on, like, why does it smell like blood? And then pop off. The delusion vanishes and it reveals that she still has a bloody stump for a hand! You know, just normal delusional stuff.
確かに。
I was gonna say, how the hell is she gonna go to school? She doesn't have her uniform.
今日は学校休んで家に帰ろっと。ブラウスとスカートの替えはあるけど、ブレザーはどうしよう。新しく買ってもらうしかないかな。
How expensive are school uniforms in, like, Japan? I'm kind of curious. Like, are the students actually covered for that sort of thing, or do they have to buy their own uniforms? As Nanami continued muttering to herself about what her plans were, I gave her one last sidelong glance, wolfed down the rest of my breakfast, then went back into the container house. Whoa!
28日未明、渋谷区小東の路上で男性の変死体が発見されました。
An unusual corpse?
被害者は練馬区に住む橋谷康之さん31歳で、死因は異物を喉に詰まらせたことによる窒息死とみられています。
Hello? I think this is new. Asphyxiation due to a foreign object being lodged in his throat.
被害者の口にはハサミで細かく切り刻まれた大量の布が詰め込まれており、また胃の中からも同様の布が多数見つかりました。
No! Is that where her uniform went?
警察の発表によりますと、布は渋谷区にある私立水明学園の女子冬用制服である可能性が高いとのことです。
Holy shit!
水明学園は現場から徒歩で3分ほどの距離にあり、警察では事件との関連を調べています。
Holy fuck, that's messed up, man! Well, I hate to break it to you, Nanami, we're not gonna find your uniform. Oh, I mean, actually, I stand corrected. We found your uniform! Another new case. And since it couldn't have just been a normal murder, a girl's winter uniform from Sume had been cut up with scissors and jammed into the victim's throat, choking him. Oh god. Was that uniform Nanami's? It had to be. It couldn't be just a coincidence. The timing was too perfect. It really was Shogun. Whatever that guy's goal was, it must have involved kidnapping Nanami and tearing off her uniform. That asshole was 100% trying to provoke me. I was next. I was gonna be the next person to die.
お兄、どうしたの？
Nanami called out from behind me, nearly making me tumble out of my chair.
顔色悪いみたいだけど。
Nanami.
Oh shit. I reached hand out to Nanami.
僕は殺される。
殺されるって、そんな冗談やめてよ。
本当なんだ。間違いない。あいつは次こそ僕を狙ってくる。ナナミごめん、僕のせいで。あいつはお前のこと誘拐して。僕はそうすれば。怖い。怖いよ。
Breaking down. As pathetic as it was to do this in front of my sister, my heart couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to cling to someone who could protect me. I hadn't heard a thing from Rimi lately. Ayase was hospitalized. There wasn't anyone else to protect me. But as I thought that, Nanami gently took hold of my outstretched hand.
もう、本当にはダメダメだな。一人じゃ何にもできないんだから。きっとゲームのやりすぎで疲れてるんだよ。今日はパソコンはやらずにソファーで横になってた方がいいよ。
Yeah, probably that.
僕を一人にしないで。
わかったから。お兄を一人になんかしないよ。
本当。
昨日はナナがお兄に優しくしてもらったから、そのお礼。
ナナミ。
It's interesting that Nanami has now taken this sort of support role that Rimi had initially, you know? Interesting. At the end of the day, family really was who you should keep closest. Whenever you actually needed something, everyone else would disappear on you. They were all useless where it actually mattered. The only thing that could well and truly support me in my time of need was family. Nanami lending me a hand was such a relief I could barely keep myself from bursting into tears. I clung to Nanami's hand.
甘えん坊だね、お兄って。これじゃあナナがお姉さんで、お兄が弟みたいだよ。
うるさいな。
はいはい、よしよし。
Nanami jokingly pat my head. It might have only been a bit of messing around to Nanami, but to me right now, the feeling was immensely comforting. See, now we're getting that breakdown of, like, Taku's... Like, we take away that degeneracy from him, and we finally get to see him in a much more vulnerable position here. Except this time, instead of him clinging to Rimi for emotional and mental support, he's clinging to his little sister. Well, I mean, technically she is a sister, but you know.
ななみ、頼みがある。
Eh?
何？
その、
Normally, Nanami and I only ever got into arguments, so it was pretty embarrassing to ask her for a favor, but I couldn't bring myself to care about that right now.
今日も、
Now, the real question is, what are you going to ask?
なんでそこで黙っちゃうかな。ちゃんと言ってくれなきゃわかんないってば。
今日も、泊まっていってくれ。
Oh. I'd feel a little bit more at ease if she did. I couldn't stand the thought of staying in this room all alone, completely terrified of Shogun. But Nanami would probably be against it. She'd likely call me a pervert for it, especially since I'd had so much trouble saying it. I nervously turned to Nanami, expecting that reaction.
なんだそんなことか。別に何泊したっていいよ。
I'll admit, whenever I assumed he was going to ask her to stay over, my first thought was like, okay, maybe he's scared for her safety, but considering, you know, Shogun and all that, or his idea of Shogun. But looking at this, it's more, I don't know. He's still, she's taken the figurative placement of Rimi right now, so.
本当？
一応ナナだってお兄の心配はしてるんだからね。さすがに今のお兄を放っておけないよ。
ありがとう。助かる。
Thank God. Family really is the best. No, my blood-related little sister, she's the best. Oh, Nanami, I'm so glad we're related. And really, if she got rid of that bratty side of her, she would 100% be the ideal little sister. And there you go. Look. Nanami wasn't coming back. Earlier, at around noon, Nanami had gone to get clothes from home, as well as something to eat while she was out. With a carefree wave of her hand, she'd given me a be back soon, then left. 8 hours had passed since then. I hadn't gone online, or even watched Bloodtoon. I'd simply sat on the couch doing nothing but waiting for Nanami to come back. Ever since she'd left, I'd been clutching my phone tightly, checking it every passing minute for any emails or calls from Nanami. Though I'd tried calling from my end, all I'd ever get was a message saying that the signal hadn't gone through or that her phone was off. Why wasn't she coming back? Had our parents something to tell her? If so, what would it have been? It doesn't matter if you two are siblings. Boys and girls your age shouldn't be staying in the same tiny room overnight. Or something. Sounds about yeah, no. Maybe they were just giving her hell over losing her uniform. When I thought about it for a second, I realized that Nanami would have been wandering the streets of Shibuya totally nude before arriving at my base. To put it bluntly, this was actually pretty serious. It wouldn't surprise me if it had turned into an outright criminal case. Because of that, I wouldn't put it past our parents to freak out and call the police in a panic. Reasonable reaction. They find out that their daughter woke up or is wandering the streets nude with no memory of what the hell happened. Any parent would be rightfully freaking the absolute fuck out. I'm pretty sure both parents would have aged like 50 years in that moment from just the sheer stress amount alone. Can you tell I can't English right? But what if none of that was it? What if it was actually so much worse? What if this time, while Nanami was heading home, Shogun, or maybe his underling Yua, had kidnapped her. This is ironically making me much more excited for the Yua route. And if that wasn't bad enough, what if they already killed her? The possibility of having another email from Shogun made me too scared to check my inbox at all.
ナナミ、僕を一人にしないで。
Please, hurry and come back. Until I finally calm back down, I want you to forget all about school and stay by my side the whole time. And now we're getting into the selfish moment. Rimi promised me that, but she disappeared on me. If you just disappeared, Nanami, I... Clutched in my hand, my cell phone began to vibrate. The second I noticed it, I immediately pressed the answer button and the call connected.
もしもし、ナナミ。おい、ナナミ、今どこにいる？
お兄、
Oh no, here we go.
助けて。
A shudder ran through me. Oh god. Had Shogun really abducted her?
どうして見捨てたの？ねえ、お兄。
Actually, with the way the world is kind of wibble-wobbling, I wonder if this is like the real world or it's a delusion again.
将軍か。あいつに何かされたの？
痛いよ。
Oh, this is the Nanami that has her hand cut off, I think.
右手が痛いの。
Yep. Sluggishly lowering my phone, I mumbled that almost unconsciously. Deja vu. It was just like the call from yesterday. Back then, she'd said, "Give me back my right hand." I thought it was just a prank. But was I mistaken? I didn't know. I cowered in place, holding my head. Nanami, just where are you? Please come back already. And she's back. Or no, he stepped outside. Staggering back, I aimlessly made my way outside. The sky was already dark as could be. The moon was nowhere to be seen. The distant outline of Shibuya was covered in a faint light. Going outside was a start, but I still wasn't anywhere close to having the strength to find Nanami. Should I give her another call? It was certainly possible that she was still pranking me for the second day in a row. Maybe I was really overthinking this.
お兄、何してんの？
Called it. There she is. Hey, she got her clothes. Startled, I looked toward the voice and saw Nanami standing there looking puzzled. She must have changed clothes, given her outfit was different than when she'd left. She also had a shopping bag in her hand.
お前、今までどこに？
ごめんね、遅くなっちゃって。お母さんと一緒に新しい制服を買いに行ってたら、こんな時間になっちゃった。
That was the best answer I could have hoped for. Though even then, one thing still bothered me.
さっきの電話は？
電話って？ああ、メールで送れるって伝えておけばよかったね。
そうじゃなくて、電話してきただろ。僕の携帯に。
Why not just pull your phone out and look at the call history?
してないよ。お兄、ボケボケだね。
Nanami's answer seemed pretty relaxed. The conversation was just beyond off. Talk about dissonance.
それより、今日の晩ご飯、なんだと思う？ひひ、なんと、ハンバーグだよ。ナナの手作りだよ。これから作るから、お兄も手伝ってね。
I like Salisbury steak. But then again, I grew up on it, and then I hear people saying that it's the most disgusting thing that they've ever had. Maybe it's just because I grew up with Salisbury steak, but I kind of like the taste of it. Actually, come to think of it, if anybody's actually listening or watching this, do you guys like Salisbury steak? And if you don't like it, explain why. I'm actually interested in hearing your thoughts on it. Why am I? Also, because if we start talking about Salisbury steak in the comments, there will probably be somebody that'll swing by this video and like, why is there comments talking about Salisbury steak?
待てよ電話したよな右手を返せとか言ったよな
もうしつこい言ってないってば誰かと間違えてるんじゃないの
Putting on a very clearly sullen-faced, Nanami stormed into the container in a pout. I gotta make sure I gotta pronounce it right. Is it Nanami or Nanami? They're pronouncing it as Nanami, so I think that's the actual pronunciation. I know I've been doing this at a long time, but I guess I should try to pronounce it correctly. Was I being deceived? It didn't really seem like it. Not to mention Nanami wasn't really the type to pull such shit-tier pranks. Or at least that was how I remembered her being. So what was that phone call then? Another one of Shogun's traps? Right then I felt a chill in the nape of my neck, just like I was being watched. Whose eyes are those eyes? Been a while since we've heard that one. After we finished dinner.
ナナミ話がある
Pull out your phone and bring up the call history.
何
Without looking up the manga she was reading, she gave an apathetic reply. She'd been flipping through various volumes from the piles of manga stacked up in the corner of the room.
真面目な話だからちゃんと聞けよ
どうしたの急に改まっちゃって
Perplexed, she closed the manga, straightened her back, then faced me.
これでいい
一昨日のことは何か思い出した
The day before yesterday, Nanami had been cowering outside my container house, completely naked. Her clothes, school bag, and bangle were all missing. As for her phone, it had been sent to me in a cardboard box covered in blood. Nothing about this was normal. Nanami had said herself that not even she knew what had happened. She'd been suffering from mild amnesia. Was she still dealing with it, though? Maybe she recovered since then. After all, she was acting like she was totally back to her usual self. When I asked her if she remembered anything new, or anything now, Nanami immediately frowned, then lightly shook her head from side to side.
まだ
全く全然
全く全然なるべくねそのことは考えないようにしてたんだお母さんにも話してないし
Oh.
おかげで制服がなくなった理由ごまかすの大変だったよ
Maybe I should take her to the hospital after all. What field of study would amnesia even fall under? Psychiatry? Either psychology or psychiatry, I don't know. If it is psych, then we should probably see Dr. Takashina. At least that was my thought process until I remembered Dr. Takashina had been murdered as part of the New Gen. A sharp pain shot deep into my chest.
ナナミ僕は命を狙われてる
Oh, she's probably not going to believe this, but let's see how it goes. Nanami's eyes went wide. Of course, pretty much anyone would react like that if I suddenly said something so batshit. Problem was, the batshit stuff was the truth, so I decided to tell her everything. Oh shit, for real? Okay. I told her about Shogun, about how I'd witnessed the third New Gen case, the crucifixion, and how after that countless strange, terrifying things had been following me without end. I told her about the threatening emails and other messages Shogun had sent me right before she'd landed naked on my doorstep. And lastly, I told her about the 2 prank calls I'd received from a fake version of her. At first, Nanami forced a smile and said, "Big bro, don't you think you're being kind of delusional?" But eventually, she realized that I wasn't joking around and her expression stiffened.
いいか、これからしばらくは一人で外に出ちゃダメだ。どこで襲われるかわからないから。
I will give credit, Takumi is actually, or Taku. I gotta remember, there's 2 different people. There's Taku and then there's Takumi. Taku is actually trying to be like, he's scared for his own life, but he's also telling Nanami, I personally believe, as a sign of, you're my sister, you're probably in danger too. We need to be safe.
お兄、ナナ、怖いよ。
僕だって怖いよ。だから二人で協力するんだ。
If the 2 of us stuck together, we could keep each other safe. Not that I had any clue how a shitty older brother like me could keep her safe, nor how I'd support her feelings and whatnot. All I knew was that I couldn't bear it if she left me alone. I would have preferred help from someone who could have offered physical protection, but... Well, my first choice would have been the police, but I was hesitant to talk to them. I think I got a little bit of mush mouth, which is why some of my words are kind of messing up here. Those detectives I'd spoken to in front of the Kurenai conference hall hadn't shown themselves since then. What had happened to all that talk of defending me? Besides, they still might have suspected me of being the culprit behind the crucifixion. Trusting the police was out of the question. Until I could think of a better countermeasure, the only choice I had was to stay locked in my base. Sinking into the couch, Nanami wrapped her arms around herself and simply trembled. Holy shit, did we clean the room up? Oh wow, we actually cleaned up your room, dude. Okay. I hate to end it here. I don't even know how long I've been recording at this point. So many things keep popping up here, but we're officially in the Nanami route, and things are flip-flopping. But right now, it looks like we're getting into more of the serious territory. I'm kind of curious how this route's going to end up playing out in comparison to the other routes. Hopefully, it's not depressing. I don't know, because that Crying Sky one, good God, that was just... Fuck, that was unbelievably depressing. Hopefully the awkwardness is finally done and we can actually go on to a more serious story right now with this Nanami route. But if not, well, I'll have to push through it. This video is going to require a lot of censoring. I'm out. See you guys next time.